What if the most dangerous animal in Australia wasn't the snake, but something barely the size of your fingernail? A tiny creature with an venom so powerful it can drop a human faster than a snake bite. And the strangest part, you might step on it without even noticing. Imagine walking barefoot in an Australian backyard, feeling at ease, convinced that the biggest threat lies in hidden snakes or the venomous spiders everyone has heard of. But beneath the silent ground lurks something even more dangerous, the bulldog ant, one of the deadliest insects ever recorded. It's shocking to think that, among so many famous examples of Australian wildlife, the real danger may come from a creature just a few millimeters long. These ants, ranked among the most venomous animals in the region, carry ant venom so potent it defies logic. Unlike a rare encounter with a snake, the bulldog ant might be just a few steps from your doorstep. And without warning, it can turn an innocent walk into an experience no one would ever want. Now think, if even a snake needs proximity to strike, what about a swarm of deadly ants defending their territory with frightening violence? That's where the real shock comes in realizing the danger may be under your feet, not deep in the forest. Documented cases have shown that the bulldog ant is not just an oddity of Australian wildlife, but a real threat. People who suffer from an ant venom allergy can go into anaphylactic shock within minutes of being stung. Even more terrifying, the nests of these deadly ants are not only found in forests, many appear in ordinary backyards, where children and pets play without knowing the risks. The pain of the sting is described by victims as a burning needle driven into the skin. This is no exaggeration. Medical reports confirm the intensity of the suffering caused by this venomous insect. Some victims have even lost consciousness within seconds of being stung. Such is the impact of the ant venom on the human body. Now imagine, if something so small can cause such damage, how do you protect yourself in an environment where they could be anywhere? That constant proximity makes the bulldog ant a truly invisible enemy, one that doesn't warn before it strikes. The bulldog ant doesn't hide. On the contrary, it flaunts vibrant colors, as if nature itself had painted a warning on its body. This pattern, known as aposematism, is common among venomous animals, but here, it takes on another dimension. With its robust body and serrated mandibles, the message is clear: stay away. Its eyes are even more striking. Unlike most ants, which rely almost entirely on smell, the bulldog ant has excellent vision. This gives it a strategic advantage, allowing it to spot intruders from meters away. It's like facing a miniature predator, ready to react at the slightest movement. Many imagine that insects survive by camouflage, but that's not the case here. The bulldog ant doesn't try to disappear into its environment. It asserts itself, intimidates, and shows it can attack without hesitation. Its threatening appearance is the first sign that this is far from an ordinary ant and raises the inevitable question: if it looks this dangerous, what about the venom it carries? When people think of venom, they picture deadly snakes or spiders like the Sydney funnel web, feared worldwide. But surprisingly, the bulldog ant surpasses many of these creatures on the LD50 scale, which measures toxicity. Proportionally, the ant venom of this insect can be even more lethal than that of some predators long considered nature's top killers. This comparison is shocking for those who think of deadly ants as mere crawling nuisances. How do you accept that a tiny venomous insect outstrips, in toxic power, animals that have haunted human imagination for generations? It's like discovering the most dangerous weapon isn't the rifle on the battlefield, but the hidden needle in your pocket. Are we afraid of the wrong animals, perhaps? Statistics show more fatal cases linked to ant venom allergies than to snake or spider bites. This reversal forces a bigger reflection. If such tiny creatures can outmatch renowned predators, what else might be hidden in nature, waiting to challenge our view of danger? In Australia, the bulldog ant reigns as a symbol of aggression and potent venom. But on the other side of the world lives a worthy rival, the Maricopa harvester ant, found in the United States. This insect has been considered the deadliest insect on Earth. with ant venom evolved specifically to guard its seed stores from predators like rodents. While the bulldog ant relies on strength and vision to defend its territory, the Maricopa uses a different tactic. Its venom doesn't just repel, it incapacitates with brutal efficiency. The cultural contrast between continents is striking. In Australian wildlife, the battle is for space. On the American plains, the war is over food buried underground. This comparison between deadly ants shows just how creative nature can be in developing chemical weapons. And it leaves one haunting question: if Australia hosts the most aggressive ant, and the US the most venomous, which truly poses the greater danger to humans? The bulldog ant impresses not only because of its ant venom, but because of something few imagine: its intelligence. Unlike many venomous insects, it has sharp vision that lets it recognize landmarks and memorize routes. It's as if it carries a mental map, something usually associated with birds or small mammals. This behavior places the bulldog ant in a class of its own within Australian wildlife. It doesn't act on blind instinct. It observes, reacts, and adjusts its strategy. Out in the open, it can spot an intruder from several feet away and decide the best form of attack. It feels less like we're dealing with ants and more like miniature hunters. This almost strategic capacity raises an intriguing question: can something so small actually think? If ants can make fast, effective group decisions, maybe we're underestimating the true potential of nature's smallest creatures. While many snakes and spiders only attack in self-defense, the bulldog ant goes further. It pursues intruders. Its territorial defense doesn't stop at the nest. It extends outward, as if the whole ground were its private domain. This makes it one of the most unpredictable venomous animals in Australian wildlife. What's most striking is how quickly they mobilize. A single ant sensing a threat releases alarm pheromones, summoning an entire army. Within seconds, dozens of deadly ants appear, ready to launch a coordinated attack. It's like watching a well-trained battalion, but at a microscopic scale. This unusual aggressiveness creates natural suspense. How do you stop something that doesn't just defend itself, but actively advances on intruders? That's a crucial difference from other venomous insects. And it leaves one chilling truth: we're facing an enemy that doesn't retreat, it advances without hesitation. Anyone stung by a bulldog ant describes it as if a burning needle were driven into the skin. That immediate, intense, almost paralyzing pain comes from its neurotoxic ant venom. Even compared with bees or other venomous insects, the sheer intensity makes the experience unforgettable. In terms of pain, some place it alongside the bullet ant of the Amazon, world famous for its sting. But with the bulldog ant, the biggest danger isn't the pain, it's the risk of anaphylactic shock in those with ant venom allergy. That's when this insect stops being just a tormentor and becomes one of the deadliest insects to humans. This contrast between pain and real danger is a warning sign. Pain may fade, but an allergic reaction can kill within minutes. It forces us to ask, are we really prepared to deal with a threat that can both torture the nerves and end a life? In Australia, official records have documented deaths linked to bulldog ants. In many cases, it wasn't the number of stings, but an ant venom allergy that caused collapse within minutes. These incidents cemented the species' reputation as one of the most feared venomous insects in the country. Over time, the presence of these deadly ants even shaped cultural perceptions. For some residents, they became the invisible backyard enemy. Parents warned children not to play near known nesting areas, much as they would with snakes or spiders. It shows how an insect can influence daily life across an entire society. This history of fatal attacks proves the threat is no exaggeration or folklore. The bulldog ant has left its mark not just on the biology of Australian wildlife, but also on collective imagination. And the question remains, how do we balance legitimate fear with the reality of living alongside these creatures? Despite their reputation as one of the deadliest insects, bulldog ants play vital roles in maintaining balance in Australian wildlife. They act as pollinators, spreading pollen as they search for food. It's a reminder that behind the feared and venom lies a silent role in ruining forests and fields. They also help naturally control herbivorous pests. By preying on insects that feed on plants, they prevent ecosystems from tipping into imbalance. It's as if nature designed them as both a menace to humans and a safeguard for the environment. Moreover, bulldog ants are prey for birds, mammals, and even larger venomous animals. The same insect feared in backyards and capable of triggering venom allergies also sustains essential food chains. It raises a curious thought. Could what we see only as a threat actually be one of life's invisible pillars? Despite their fearsome reputation as venomous insects, bulldog ants don't act out of cruelty. Their aggressiveness comes from defending their nests just as any animal would. Human fear often outweighs the real danger, creating a distorted view of these deadly ants within Australian wildlife. By better understanding their behavior, we see they're not villains, but guardians of their territory. They use ant venom as a survival tool, not for gratuitous attack. With this balanced view, we realize that behind the label of deadliest insect lies a creature fulfilling its role in the ecosystem. The great lesson is that coexistence doesn't mean eliminating what threatens us, but respecting the space of every creature. And the lingering question is, can we truly live in harmony with being so small, yet so powerful? So here's the uncomfortable truth. The bulldog ant proves that size means nothing when it comes to danger. More venomous than many snakes, more aggressive than predators we actually fear, and living right where people walk every day. If you want to keep uncovering hidden threats like this, subscribe now and turn on notifications, because the next story might be even harder to believe.